It is my absolute honor to begin our evening by introducing to you all our first guest speaker, Alexandra Cenatus. Alexandra Cenatus is the Director of Programs at Maryland Humanities, and she is an interdisciplinary scholar focusing on their interactions between gender, race, religion, and class. Cenatus works on creating equitable spaces for communities and expanding capacity through collaboration. She published an online exhibit titled The Haitian American Dream Timeline with her collaborators, Margarita Vargas Betancourt and Ivana Moreno in 2021. The project highlights the history of Haitian migration in the US. In 2019, Cenatus became the Assistant Director of the Center for the Humanities in the Public Sphere at the University of Florida, where she connected students, faculty, and community members to the humanities. In 2015, she received a UF Duke National Endowment for the Humanities grant to explore the social role of priestesses in Haitian voodoo. Her master's thesis builds on this research and analyzes the ways in which Haiti's social changes affect the economic livelihood of Haitian voodoo priestesses. And I'm happy to say, aside from all of these accolades, Alexandra is an incredible community engaged scholar, practitioner, activist who really highlights the importance of community across all our different sectors. So without further ado, I will hand it off to Alexandra to get us started.
Hi, thank you so much for this wonderful presentation, Laura. I really appreciate it. And thank you everyone for being here and also for hearing, I will say, my story. I'm definitely thankful for being in this space with you and also to share my story. And then feel free to ask me any question because I always love answering questions because it's always a conversation with me. I don't like doing presentation when it's only passive. So I always like to have people reflect or ask me questions. It doesn't have to be today. It can be something that happened, I would say, later on to follow up. So what I will do is I'm actually gonna go in and share my screen and present. Let me know if you can see my full screen without any issue. Good?
I can see it, but it's on presenter mode. There you go. Perfect.
Okay, good, okay, perfect. Okay, got it. So, so as Laura said, my name is Alexandra Cenatus. So one of the things that I wanted to talk with you today is to sort of like introduce myself, talk a little bit about the values that I saw in Haiti, the values that I saw in the US, how my values came to be, how do I incorporate my values with my professional experience, and if you want to keep in touch later on, how we can actually keep in touch with each other. So about me, so I would say I was born in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. I moved to Miami, Florida, I would say at the age of 16. And I went to the University of Florida for my undergraduate and master's degree. And I also like to read, watch movies, and TV shows and food. So I think these are the things I always like to tell people about me besides my bio. So in terms of values, I would say growing up in Haiti, there are different values that I would say that my parents and even thinking about the society that I was part of that really shaped my identity and the way I actually navigate the world. So I think there are like 4 components that literally shaped, I would say, how I see things. So the first one's the collectivity, the emphasis on collectivity. So knowing that you're part of a group. The other one, I would say, that was part of like the societal values that usually, that pretty much you see on a daily basis, I would say. The other one I would say is through my parents, which was curiosity. Specifically, I would say my mom, to learn about the world, to be curious, you know, when like giving me books, different books to read. The other one was also the history. As you may not know, maybe that will be your first time hearing about Haiti. Sometimes the news usually like to use, I would say, negative stereotypes to portray Haiti. But one of the things that we're very proud of is also having the Haitian Revolution and doing 1804. So really proud of our ancestors and also being part of that very rich history that we have. And then the other ones that we had is also the respect, like respecting women's rights and people agency, I would say. So in terms of values, I would say in the US, like moving to the US, obviously it was a shift. So in the US, I noticed that even as a society, our values were a little bit different than what I was used to at home, right? So one of it was achievement, showcasing your work, worth through your accomplishment. The other one was diversity. So I was definitely part of a complex ecosystem of culture and beliefs. Granted, I'm actually coming from Haiti, and most people are actually Black. But coming here, I was able to encounter people from different parts of the world. Like that's kind of like the beauty of being part of this space. You also see the individualism in a way, where people only care about themselves, and also this really huge emphasis that knowing that time is money, right? So these are the things I would say that you tend to learn. So I would say, like, observing what I saw, also what I grew up with, I was able to sort of create my own values that I use now to navigate not only for myself, but also throughout my professional life, right? So one of it that really influenced me is a Black feminist practice. So that means like loving Blackness, understanding the different structure within our society, that we are part of a larger society that actually prevent people from exerting their agency, caring, being mindful of the environment and its various ecosystem, and also creativity, right? Allocating time to learn. They're saying that knowledge is not something that's static. So always curious to see, is there more, like learning about different things as well? And also the racial equity, using your knowledge and time, services and mentoring to advocate, elevate, and support the most vulnerable. And through that, I will say, I was able to not only use those particular practices in the way I create relationships with myself, with other people, the way I actually advocate as well for family members within my own family, but also in my professional experience, right? So part of the things that I was able to do is pretty much in any space that I am being outspoken. If I see something is wrong, I will say it is wrong, making sure that in terms of hiring practices, they are very equitable, making sure that if I don't see anybody in the room that look like me, that are BIPOC in the room, making sure I bring them along with me as well. Mentoring people so I can make sure that there are others as well coming in. And through that, I was able to not only connect with various folks, but also to create different projects around food, around music, workshops around positionality, thinking about working around like Haitian history, and also working around like diversity, equity, and inclusion, and language access. So I think the takeaway for me in all of this in terms of values, I think oftentimes as immigrant, we want to assimilate. We want to make sure that we sort of remove what's ourselves, and we don't want to talk about those values that we even have at home. But I think sometimes we have to use this time to sort of reflect and deciding to say, how do I want to become? And also what are the different tools that I can use to make sure that I become a better version of myself without sacrificing who I am, and also my cultural values, and also where I am from. So in terms of how we keep in touch, you can connect with me through LinkedIn, or even through my website. And I hope I was able to say all of this within the time frame.
Thank you so much, Alexandra. Your work is so inspirational, and I have witnessed how if you see something that's wrong, you say it. And I think that's something we can all take inspiration from, especially during these difficult times that we're going through. And also your emphasis on bringing racial equity always into the conversation when we're talking about refugee and immigrant experiences. So I really appreciate it. I know that you're going to be inspiring us for a very long time. So thank you so much for sharing that wonderful story with us, and sharing your journey with us.